Hello, sports fans around the world, and welcome back to the NRL SuperCoach BDE Podcast. We are the best draft experts, here to unpack the rather condensed round 18 teams for the mighty NRL, mate. It's an interesting week, lads, and as always, we've got Simo's with us. How you doing, fella?
Hi, mate. G'day, listeners. Yeah, it's good to be back on. Still a little bit croaky from being off crook last week. So, yeah, I was floored by the wog that's been going around. So, it's good to be back. It's you nailed it with that small team list and like Big Papa getting called up for Origin just opens up
Hello.
another name. So, it's this is one for the diehards. This is a buy around for the ages. Like typical, just get down and dirty and pick up scrubbers, get the win.
Yeah, absolutely, Simo. And speaking of down and dirty, the odd man himself. Hello.
Speaking of scrubbers, yes, I'm back this week. Looking forward to getting into these team lists. And, yeah, interesting with Origin around the corner, boys. I was pretty confident before game 2. I've been a bit quiet since then.
Yeah, it's about as diabolical as you could play an Origin game in that first 40 minutes from the Blues, mate. That was pretty embarrassing work, and hopefully they can repeat the dose for a bit longer in game 3. But, Todd, I just wanted to mention to the listeners, you may notice a new and improved layout there at the House de la Todd. Look at that, hey?
Yes, mate. Put in a bit of effort. Yeah, I've got the old gaming room back up and set up here at the house now, so... Well, that's just the start of it. Got the Wires shirt in the background. I got my beloved Otago team, the Union team that I support back in New Zealand, and a couple of footies there. So yeah.
Yeah, but Simo, look what's missing, mate. Where's his Dragons kit? Where's the Fins?
Sure. I reckon you just pull back that Warriors kit and there'll be a few Dragons ones just creeping in behind.
All signed by
sneaky old Steelers.
like a babushka doll, just peel them back.
Yeah, it'll be half Steelers, half Dolphins. That'll be it.
Oh, I like that. I like it. All right, lads, we'll dive straight into the matchups this week. It is a diluted product the NRL is rocking this week. These are the weeks you do wonder, do we really need to have 3 games that intersect with the NRL? Could there even be one standalone in the middle, maybe? Probably looks that way if you look at the team list. But I tell you what, good to see him back playing footy again is Selwyn Cobbo, gentlemen. So I'll be so bold to say there would be leagues out there that may have got a bit wobbly about when he would finally play again this year, and it could have been gapped. Hopefully you didn't, listeners, and you hung on. But, boys, given that he has got fullback eligibility and playing against it's a weakened dog side. It's still got the strength. There's still some good players left. With Selwyn coming back in, and I don't know, maybe you can help out here with the timing of this move to the Fins. Is he someone you could actually waiver to hope he has the rest of season, or is this just a 1-week special? Go to you first there, Todd Mount.
Well, as a Selwyn Cobbo owner, I definitely hope it's a waiver and pray he gets the spot back. But look, I'm not entirely sure it's going to be. With him moving on next year, Madge has come out and said, he's still a Bronco, blah, blah, but he hasn't been backing him in, so far this season. So I think it would be more of a 1-week play, but I do think if he's out there on waivers and you're sitting pretty, top of the league, take a stab on a guy like Selwyn. Like, there's every chance. He's only 1 injury away, and then he's every chance of being a really good CT dub for you. So I'm sort of in the camp of I would spend up a waiver for this week play and just hope that he gets rest of season value.
Simo, are you on board with that, mate? Especially, obviously, appealing to those leagues who play the bye.
Well, you pretty much said exactly what I was going to say. Like, he is a waiver because of the name and what he could be. Like, as we see today, I actually don't think – I think we're probably all in similar agreements by the sound of it that it doesn't look as though, like, rest of season, it's super fruitful for Selwyn, but you're going to have to spend a waiver to get him. And for this week, he is a waiver for that reason alone. Obviously, the big hope is that, he gets – named back in the Broncos team at some point, and then you're laughing. So, yeah, you can't be sitting here saying to people, look, free agent him, because you're not going to get him as a free agent. You have to be willing to spend that claim. So, he's got good duel for this particular buy round. Obviously, if you end up having things work out your way, he's going to be good rest of season too. So, even though, as we sit here, I don't really think it's super likely without an injury, because I think that with him moving on, that Madge will just stick with the team as it is. I think Karapani's locked down the left, and then Arthurs is on the right. So, barring injuries, I don't see it happening. But he is only, like Todd said, one injury away. Literally, Shibasaki or Staggs go down. He's probably next man up. And
Yeah, it'd be interesting with
yeah.
Mariner still there, Simo, if there's any fear even that Madge just wants to invest in the future as well and just puts Mariner in there. So I think it's a very low end claim for me that I would not be burning anything if you've hung on.
Yeah, which is look, it's weird to say because Selwyn straight back in playing fullback. Like, if you need a win this week, you spend whatever waiver it takes. But things being equal, yeah, I agree. He's probably more of a lower end claim than a high end claim.
Just running through the rest of the Bronx side real quickly. You're obviously not starting Brendan Butterhands Piakura. Kobe Hetherington. Thankfully, I noticed that Ennis has quietened down about the Origin selection at the third time of him dropping the pill in just the worst possible position. I'm never going to let go of this. I'm struggling, boys. You're not starting.
What's your thoughts, Redford? Like, I think I know what Toddy will say about this, but his shot on Luke Metcalf. Where are you with that?
Beautiful shot. Absolutely no dramas whatsoever. It was just on point. I even am shocked and just so disappointed for Metcalf that he must for you to damage your knee structurally because of a hit like that is also very, very unusual. Surely. Todd, any disagreement?
Not really. I think he's just really super unlucky for Metcalf. I don't think it was blatantly like crazy late. Like, I'm fine with it. Obviously, it sucks for Metcalf, dude. Like,
that's horrible. It's horrible for the Waz.
Stuck in the ground there and it's just so bad. He's been so unlucky with Metcalf, but
yeah,
Tanner Boyd, baby.
Yeah, it's tough old road for the run home, but TMM surely gets a shot there. At least he's got something.
I don't think so. Tanner Boyd's been killing it in reserve grade.
I'd have Tamari Martin easily over Tanner Boyd. I don't think it's even close either, but we'll see.
I don't think that Tamari Martin has a kicking game, like the long kicking game needed, because Chanel doesn't have a huge boot either.
I just liked TMM at 7 last year still when he was in there for SJ. I know he hasn't showed as much in the little stints that he's had since, but I think he looks good enough and your Waz are actually winning games during that period. I think that's the combo.
Team is absolutely killing it.
Yeah. I'm not a ton of Boyd man at all. Not even a little bit.
You can't be picking Edward Corsi again. You just cannot.
The one on the wings, games where he should have been in position. That is, you cannot not be there for that play. That's shocking.
So bad.
There was a chance early. He should have scored as well, but didn't.
Yep. No, he's a stinker. Any quick love, boys? 1 week play. I think Xavier Willison, tick. 1 week play, plenty fine. We'll go back to a low minute role. Obviously, the chance, gentlemen, that if Haas or Carrigan are slow back, he could be the one that benefits as well. So you might even get away with a 2 week play there. Corey Jensen, if you just want a really low end sort of 40-ish kind of.
Mariner play this week, I think too, in the centre wing.
Playing the centres, I'm not as big on him in the centres, to be honest here, Todd. I think it's a good mention. He can have a stab as a 4 CT dub or an option. I just think if he's on a wing, you'd be keener.
Yeah, he's playing up against Nari Tuala as well, so he's been for years. So
big disappointment for the bunt truthers. So not only has he missed the opportunity to get the dual eligibility now for the season and robbed of that hooker eligibility, but also not even named on the extended here. So that pretty much for me almost ends his run. Because are you really like Simo? I know you and I have been sniffing around the idea of bunt at hooker. The fact that you're only going to get to play him at 5'8", mate, like he doesn't have the upside for me at 5'8" to really get too excited. I don't think.
No, I don't foresee him getting massive minutes at hooker anymore either. Like this injury's lingered a bit too long. They've also got Pakes and Billy Walters there that they're going to have on the bench as well, or one of the two. So it's looking like best case is that you get like a 55-minute bunt at hooker, and even if that happens, like he's on a super high end start, so it's probably time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think so, mate. So over to the Dogs. It is a weakened Broncos side for sure, and I could think even with Max King out in particular, pardon me, they should still have enough going forward here, the Dogs, to get on a roll. So can we green light a Bronson Jerry and a Blake Wilson perhaps there, boys? Just a quick yay or nay for either.
I wouldn't be doing Wilson. Roger Cherry, I would give half a yay to.
Yeah, I'd go
I think it
Sherry
tries.
if I had to choose.
I think Jerry. I just think for leagues, maybe if Jerry's already owned, Wilson could be an okay. He sort of sniffs around a try, and
I still
we
think
really
this
think
Broncos
this Bronx
backline is
team.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's more the lack of go forward odds when you take
Yeah, I
those
get
two
that.
forwards out, just being on the back foot the whole game. It could be an ambush. Still got Burton and them there, so it'd be interesting. Shout out Connor Tracy, by the way, played.
Oh man, those two
He had a
tackles
game.
on Blade Solangi, unbelievable.
That's the best game he's played in a Dogs jersey. It was incredible.
Yeah.
He was so good. And I know I've been critical of him saying he holds the Dogs back. Well, maybe he did for lack of attack, but in terms of what he saved at the other end, holy moly, outstanding.
Beautiful.
No, I mean Harry Hayes. Simo, is there a little bit there maybe as a 1 week play? Curran on the bench is interesting. You'd think surely he would have started.
Yeah, I think like Hayes has been pushed back to the bench. Excuse me, pushed back to the bench a little bit. I think it was last bye round as well. Came on and played like 50 straight and then went off. So he's probably good for a 45 to a 55, somewhere in that sort of range. I think the last few weeks he's hit sort of in the sort of high 40s. He's got 2 RF CT dub, so you can plug him in there at CT dub and get a decent score if he just wants a bit of safety.
Yep, that's what I was thinking as well, mate. Bailey Hayward may be okay as well. Probably plays just enough minutes to be relevant. Now, one I had to ask you boys, this is probably a big burning question from our listeners. Welcome to our live listeners who've got on. Thank you very much, folks. The Lockie Galvin conundrum here, Tots. It's looking mighty rough for the truthers out there. We know he's talented. And we know this position is his long term.
Yeah.
In the short term, mate, if you had to win in a bye week, what the hell are you doing here?
Wouldn't be starting Lockie Galvin, that's for sure.
But he's going to be on your roster, mate. This is the problem. You're going to have to play him if you own him. What are you doing from there?
I don't know. The rest of the season, I don't see what Lockie Galvin's going to give back to your team anyway. So you have to play him this week. It's such a weird rotation. Like Sexton's playing out of his skin. I don't think Serraldo wants to even bring Lockie Galvin on, to be honest. Like the way Lockie came on the weekend, it did ruin a bit of their feng shui. Like it seemed a little bit clunky. We obviously know the talent. What I would do with Lockie Galvin the rest of the season, I'd play him this week, but until he gets like a starting spot, I'm not going to be firing him up any other week.
So the real question there is, Simo, based on what Todd said, and the reason I'm really going hard on this, if you genuinely, mate, imagine, you need 50 points per player, roughly, you're hoping at least in a bye round, and then you're trying to get your maths right against your opponent. You look at Lockie Galvin there. I mean, what are you hoping for, mate? One attacking moment to get him to 50, maybe if you're lucky. It's a risky start. Is he just your extra number? You just put up with it and you just sit, you sit on him because you aren't going to be able to trade him. 1, 2, if you drop him, you're going to have to get him back through waivers. It's one of those horrible spots.
Yeah, you're not going to get him back probably. It's a really crap situation because, like, in a bye round, I hate having my guys play the first game of the week, and this is a prime example of it. Like, you don't know the state of your matchup. There's scenarios where if they're playing later, you could need a bit of upside. And you hope he comes on and hits a couple of attacking stats late. Could hit you like a 60 or 70. But like chances are he's going to come on there and do what he did last week and score you like a sub 20 and could sink you. So it's one of those ones like you have to be willing to cop it if you do want to keep him on your team. Like you said, trading him is going to be difficult because people also are going to want to win in the bye round. So like I think I'd be more inclined to just cop it sweet with him. But if you're really needing the win to make the finals, you have to look to trade because there'll be teams higher in the ladder that are keen to stash him to see what he could be rest of the way. Albeit what Toddy said, like it might not be much, but there'll be people keen out there in a lot of leagues. So you just have to play it by ear. But if I was really forced into it, I'd probably just start him and hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. It's just I'm with Todd's original thought though. If you genuinely cannot see room for him to start in this Bulldog side, which I think is definitely the underdog at this point, I also can understand cutting bait, especially if you need the wins because you're in a tough spot. Go for it. I wouldn't put it this way. If I lost by, imagine losing by 20 points or less, and it's because you started Galvin. Yuck, not for me.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Galvin or Latu Finu rest of season?
Well, probably Latu, just because he's playing. Like it's that's I'm of the opinion that he probably doesn't come in, but I'm also definitely Todd. I think you summed it up beautifully. Have a look at where you are on the ladder, though. Like if you are desperately needing to cling on to make a final, be aggressive and drop him. I think I could justify. But if you're already someone who's pretty much home, hang on to him.
Yeah, hang on to him. Yeah, tough one, eh? Holy.
Very tough. That's a real hard one out of the gates here, lads. And just another one I quickly forgot. Jordan Ricky's fine to fire up as a 2RF option this week. He'll grind his tackles to a decent score. He's okay. All right. Raiders v Dragons, a decimated Dragons side and not by origin, boys. I mean, how bad do you run? They've lost almost everyone. And welcome back, the king himself, RFM Raymond Fatala Mariner in 2025. Round 18 is actually going to start a game of NRL.
Yeah. He's going to play 80 here too, by the way.
There is not a chance in hell he lasts 80 minutes in a game
Who
of NRL.
sold it, mate? They got three front rows and
someone will sneak it. Hamasele on the edge. You heard it here first. He can't play 80 minutes. Oh
He's
my
going
God.
to, mate.
Raymond, the Stephen Bradbury for Palo Mariner.
He is Stephen Bradbury. That is a fantastic comparison. Boy, wow. So
Isn't it crazy, mate?
It is.
Like
it's bonkers.
Egan gone, Couchman gone, Lucy gone. Oh, let's get RFM in there just to run a few. Oh, crazy!
I had to do the old comical or caricature double take and rub my eyes. He's actually there. That's unbelievable. So it doesn't look like maybe the strongest side we've seen on paper, gentlemen. But pre-season cheapy darling for those classic listeners, Sione Finu is in there. Funnily enough, the 2 games he played in the real deal didn't amount to much, similar to the gentleman who came on after the warm-up injury to a Pilotu, says, "You beauty, I'll take those 2 tries," and then proceeds to get injured. It's a rough old season, I tell you. It is hard to greenlight many of these Dragons, given the struggle that might come about here. I mean, Jaden Sewell didn't look great in his first game back. I know you're going to fire him up. DeBellin's hard to tell at this stage, which is probably okay. Cook, he's been pretty good. Like, he's actually been quite good, I think, so he's fine. You're not starting Corey Allen. There's another one playing NRL in 2025. It's a bold strategy going on. Tyrell Sloan can fill a fullback need, so that's just something to keep an eye on if you need it and you're desperate. It's Leakin King Tongia. Tongia? It's looking at you, Todd. Kids look good. He has actually looked pretty good. If you could string together a couple of attacking stats per game, you're actually looking at a pretty damn good SuperCoach player. Mm-hmm. With his dual eligibility, I'm looking at a Galvin owner, looking at a Moses owner. Campbell, obviously, we should hopefully be back after the bye, but you don't know for sure with the concussion he copped. Is he actually a genuine waiver claim that should be owned at this point, Simo?
I think so. Well, for this particular week, yeah. Like, he needs to be started. And we'll probably have this theme throughout the rest of this podcast. Like, there's only, 5 games this week? So, is that right? 1, 2, 3. 5. Yeah, 5 games. So, like, any of these really shallow positions, like hooker, fullback, the 2 halves, there's going to be guys that can't field positions. And the fact that Tongi's got, like, that duel there, plus he's shown a little bit, I think he's got to be worth a decent claim. Like, is he matchup proof? Of course not. Like, he could easily go and clunk it up, but so could so many other halves that you're looking at on waivers. So you just got to try and, I guess, plant your flag on someone. I think the talent's there, so I think there's worse guys you could look at.
Yeah, I think so too, mate. So he's probably one of the bigger ones for this week. And as I said, there are many teams that are battling out there in the halves. So a decent enough option. So that's really it for that side. Like Emre Gula, if you're very desperate, might get you 40 plus. It's that kind of level of desperation. Quick shout out and welcome to the listeners who've just joined the live potty. Feel free to fire out any questions you may have, but understanding if you just want to settle in with your favorite beverage and get that BDE in you. The Raiders, then, it has to be a green light for Jed Stewart, boys. Pretty straightforward. I think he looks actually really like quite a good football player as well. I saw the Raiders have just re-signed Tamale, which is a very good bit of business because that guy is super talented. But I tell you what, they keep producing these backs of quality. Like Jed Stewart, I think he looks NRL grade comfortably. Start him. May have a sneaky bit of rest of season with Tamale injured as well, so I really quite like that one as a low-end waiver claim. Like, he's going to have upside. You probably are starting Seb Chris alongside Tomoko. I know that doesn't sound that exciting, but that's fine. Xavier Savage, hard to trust, gentlemen. Tell me, trust or bust? Give me the old one.
Bust.
Todza?
Bust. Absolutely bust. No
Simo, he's due.
Simo loves it.
Raiders.
He loves it.
I'm going trust as well, Simo. I don't want to because he's ruined you and I many a time, but I'm trust as well.
Wait, 1 through 13, start them all. Even Smithies can be started this week.
Now, Simo, on that note, mate, I know you have absolutely listened. I know sometimes we give each other a bit of insight into players that we buy in. You can now see why I've been so high on Simi Sasangi for quite some time, and why when Knights didn't find a way to have him continue at our organisation, I was filthy. Kid's got game. He's got mad game. If he's somehow been slept on again, listeners, can you go grab him and start him this week, please? Like, it's going to go very well again. Kid is talented.
Yeah, look, he's one of those ones that, when we talk about 1 week plays in a buy round, he's right up there. Like,
huge.
There's a few of them that we've looked at this week. We'll get to Nas soon, but like Willison, Nas, Sasangi, Cobbo, if you want to think he's 1 week play. They're all. If you think that's worthy of a waiver, like a high-end waiver, then I can't begrudge you. But like chances are, like if you want to own these high-end guys for this week, like Sasangi is, you got to spend up to grab him. So if he's not owned, you got to get on.
Yep, I like him, mate. He should go good. Morgan Smithies, I wouldn't be wavering. You could sneak him in as a 1 week play as well. Probably base stats his way, hopefully close to a 60. John says, G'day, John.
G'day, John.
Hey, John. Start all Raiders, John.
Start all Raiders.
Boys, before we leave this game, I got a question from Vance on the old Facebook. To pop it. He says, "Is it time to drop Couchman and Tuipulotu?"
Oh, Tuipulotu injury info slightly scarce, but the fact it's a bit of reoccurring thing, Simo, I think it's looking real rough now, isn't it?
I'd be dropping both. I think.
Yeah.
It's hard with waivers tonight, so you've got to make these decisions without all the info. Honestly, I mean, Couchman he didn't take surgery a few weeks back, and it was always one knock away, and he got that one knock on the weekend. Like, I'd be dropping Couchman. Of the two, I dropped Couchman first, guys. I think he's done. Like, they're going to have surgery surely, because he was trying to delay it and it hasn't worked out. Tuipulotu is probably slightly different because
it is.
Like, is it only a couple of weeks? I think they said. Like, it wasn't super, super bad, but obviously he's had awareness there because he's had the injuries to the hamstring quite a lot this year. So I would drop both if I had to, but yeah, I'd go Couchman first of the two for sure.
Try and sneak a wee deal, I think, as well. Have a look at those teams that may not be going for a win this week or a secure. I know if I was a team that was well and truly in contention, I'd sneak a 1-for-1 CTW deal for someone playing this week. I think you have a chance of getting that through because potential for him to run home strong at the end of the year with their schedule as well, not horrible. Just a mention as well to welcome to our live listeners. Going strong this week, lads. Good to see the numbers. Chris, hello, sir. Welcome. Hot wins tips for the week. I'm not 100% sure. I think if you're meaning in terms of the matchups, we can try and give what we think will happen. I definitely think I think we're pretty confident on the Raiders this week. And I've got to feel as though the Dogs have got just enough, gentlemen. Yes?
Yeah, Dogs Raiders so far, yeah, mate.
Yep. I think if Chris, feel free to just give us a bit more there, mate, if you're thinking anything different. Commando Conrad has come in with g'day Toddy and sidekicks. No, not having that. No shot. He ain't ruling shit, mate. He does what I tell him to do. Sadly lost Couchman with the shoulder. Reckon he's gone. Yeah, we think gone. I'll go with Simo's advice. I think feel free to move on. At best, he comes back for a sneaky bit of the finals, and it'd be a risky start anyway. So, good shout. Not liking this sidekick thing, though. So I think it's a load of bollocks. You're listening to a different potty, Commando.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yuck. Disgusting. John, our man, has asked R. Smith to Tommy Starling. So if this were, obviously, this is a classic question. Tommy Starling, I'll be probably hanging on to him as my second hooker rest of season in Classic John. He's been brilliant for me, and he's got a sneaky bit of upside even with Owen Paddy there, so not the worst. If you could have the dream of the Connor Watson, Harry Grant split, then good luck to you. But it's going to be hard to get there.
Tommy Starling's going to have a few beach sprints in him this week against Cookie, just to show him what he's got. 2025, Cookie's 2.0.
Yeah, love it. We love a bit of Tommy Starling here. And John, what do you think? There it is. That's what we're waiting for. It is that, John. So good luck to you, mate. Not the worst. As I said, if you've got the means to have Connor Watson and Harry Grant there, it's probably better. But Tommy Starling can match him on any given week, so not horrible. All right. Moving on down to matchup number 3. Cowboys versus the Storm. Interesting because it's a bit sort of taken from either side here. This one I don't think is as straightforward to pick an outcome because I think there's enough there. The Cowboys, but maybe without Dearden, probably a bit rough, Todd. I know you're not a big fan of the Cowboys, mate.
The Cowboys are such stinkers, mate. Honestly, reckon his cricket scores up for grabs here for the they miss Munster. You just replace him with Tyrone Wishart. Melbourne just roll these guys, dude. The Cowboys are so weak. I can't understand them.
I'm going to give a differing opinion. I think the Storm have a problem at the moment. They come out of the blocks all guns blazing and their attack appears to stall. And I don't think the loss of money helps them too much, Xavier Coates, etc. I think that they'll probably win, but I don't think you get on the Storm for these blowouts. Pappin's been a bit unders as well in recent times. So hopefully...
I wouldn't be fine with Joe Chan or Kane Bradley, but seriously, this Cowboys team without an Origin Stars, they fold like no tomorrow. They're so weak, man.
You're 100% right, Toddy. I'm sick of trying to make cases for the Titans and Cowboys without the Origin guys. We saw what happened to the Panthers a few weeks back. We referenced that game where they had a second grade side. Cowboys are the same. When they lose, especially Tommy Dearden, and I think I underestimated how much Ruben Cotter. What's the hooker's name again? Reece Robson. When they lost them, their pack was it's just so inexperienced. You've got Griffin Neem in there. You've still got McIntyre and Kai O'Donnell and these sorts of guys. Obviously, Nanai's not there either. It's just too inexperienced in the pack. And I think looking at the Storm side, you've still got King there. You've still got Bloor there. You've still got Nass starting. They've got enough in the pack that Hughes and Pappen will come into their own. I think they'll just dominate. They're too well coached as well. Toddy Payton doesn't seem to get the Cowboys up for these games, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. It's just they just haven't done it. I just think it's just putting the green light on the Storm just to keep it going for entire 80 minutes. I mean, they almost lost to South. They just seem to stop and get stuck in neutral after 20-odd minutes of matches, and it's very strange. So we'll see. If you guys want to greenlight your Kane Bradleys and whatnot, I guess Kane is a chance of a score off a kick from Jerome Hughes is probably a red-hot chance because he does have those massive levers. So maybe... Yeah, I mean, maybe, I suppose, he's not a horrible start, don't get me wrong. Joe Chan, I think it's a 2RF eligibility only makes it pretty difficult, unless you really think the floodgates are on. I wouldn't be, myself. Bradley's okay. Tyrone Wishart, obviously, is that 1 week special you're talking about, Simo, well and truly in the equation. have every faith that he'll do something. And Bronson Garlick, if you really want to use one of your positions for a hooker, it's probably all right. Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. He's hit upside in these buy rounds before.
He has. He absolutely has.
Well, when Grant was it wasn't a buy round, but it was when Grant was out with the hamstring.
That's right. Our boy Razzle. Good day, sports fans, he says. Very good, sir. He knows that it's not Toddy's show. Bloody hell, honestly. Disgusting. And some go Stephen McCormack. Don't know who this fella is. He says, "What's the word for 3 twins?" He says. Oh, God. Here we go.
On your Mac up, the Mac Daddy.
What does it? Has he not heard of triplets? The facts are on the
I think he's a gentleman who really struggles to navigate life a bit, so he's just,
sounds
asking
like
some
one.
questions.
Yeah.
Love your Mac Daddy. All right, Razzle has come in with a question. Love your work, mate. G'day, Razzle. It's a bye week, but I've lost Couchman, and I need an FRF. It's slim pickings, and my only options on free agency are Clemmer, Jensen, Takiaho, Oren Keeley, Molo, Lindsay Collins, Gula. Who would you pick?
Mate, I would be, out of those ones, I think a solid Jensen doesn't need a massive upside. I think Jensen's going to knock you out of 50. It won't disappoint.
Probably.
Takiaho looked good before a bit of an injury last week. I think he went off with. Actually looked a little bit good, and Manly need him, man. Because I don't know, him and Bullymore are really good. I like Bullymore. Bullymore's out there. I like Bullymore coming on and a bit of impact. Jensen, Takiaho for me.
Yep, and I think as sad as it is to say, someone at the Dragons has to cart the ball forward a bit. Gula will get you 40, nothing more, 40 points. So any raises on that, mate? And this super exciting question from Razzle.
That's not what I do with Razzle's question. It kind of goes a bit against what we said before about Couchman, but in this particular situation, I would not be picking up any of those guys today. I'd wait until I heard 100% on Couchman. I'm like you know my thoughts. I'm pretty 99% there that he's done for the year. So I'm okay with people just dropping him tonight. But when these are the options you're looking at, there's no point taking that risk. Wait a couple of days. None of these guys move the needle in any way, shape, or form. You're literally picking up guys for next week because you've obviously got you've got guys in there that aren't playing this week. So obviously it's a rest of season thing. Just wait a bit. Make the move in a couple of days once you hear if Couchman's 100% done for the year or not. Honestly, throw a dart at any of those guys. They could all be as good as each other. So if I had to pick them from that list, though, I'd go Keeley number 1, Takiaho number 2. Gula's probably up there too. Lindsay Collins definitely I would not go anywhere near. Would be the only sort of other commentary on that. But pretty dire options. Just wait a bit.
Absolutely, and I think I also like the idea, Razzle. It sounds like you know, as Simo said, you need a rest of season option. If there's an awesome option that you can put in another position for the rest, that has rest of season value, that's a much better play with your waiver claim as well. Work out your front row next week. New subscriber I saw, HZO or Hizo, I'm not sure the pronunciation, mate, but absolutely great to have you aboard. Did see, Tozzy, loving my work. Beautiful. Hizo, baby. He's a sports fan. Oh, yeah. Welcome aboard, mate. Good to have you. Boys, the Tamari Martin versus Boyd stash, what's the vibe? Tamari gets that spot. He's a difference maker given the last finals run. That's my side of the equation. But if it's Boyd, it's not really worth the early waiver. Sounds like you and I are absolutely on the same page with this one, mate. But the boys, they tend to actually think that you want to get behind a bit of Boyd. Now, Boyd, is it the goal kicking of Boyd that maybe gets us over the line, gentlemen? That was one thing I thought of, because he's actually a decent goal kicker. Not great, but decent. We know that Harris DeVita can't goal kick because that went horribly when he attempted it. There was a bit of humour. I might actually just think live, I might change it. Might be Boyd for the goal kicking, which does mean, HZO, that he could actually have at least floor attached to his game. Gentlemen, just confirms what you said earlier.
I like the call.
I think Boyd will kick goals if he gets a spot, but I'm
Because it's
sort of
Pompey, right? It's Pompey or
Better
if
not be
Pompey's fit,
Yeah,
his
look,
goal kicking
I
is okay, but he's not Boyd.
I think Martin gets the nod though. To be fair,
Yeah, I don't
like
hate
in terms of real
HSO's
life.
logic. You know, like exactly what HSO said here. He's come back and he said, but without the known factor, do you burn the waiver a week early? Boyd doesn't seem to justify high waiver. I agree with that too, mate.
Yeah,
Is like
No,
TMM was pretty good. When he was in that run as a halfback, he actually did hit, like he was averaging 60 plus.
yeah, definitely don't burn a waiver on Boyd. That's definitely a no-no. Um, if you think it's Boyd, you just free agent. Go from there.
Yeah, I like that shout. If you want to lock up TMM, I don't hate it, mate. That's decent. Just be aware it may be a burn waiver, but at least you had a shot. So good luck to you, mate. Maybe even a Metcalf owner, so you're sort of scrambling. Good luck to you, mate. Good to have you aboard. John has come in with, is Metcalf to Ethan Strange a good idea? I wouldn't be going Ethan Strange in Classic for mine at all. I think the floor is way too low. If Ethan Strange is available in draft for us listeners, absolutely keen on him as a bit of a flyer because he also plays this week.
Just
I
for
think he'll
John,
go
I'll
off
be
this
waiting
week.
to
Strange.
He very much could, Timo. It should be a week that he hits some upside for sure. He's not a guy I'd want to trust the rest of season every week. It's very risky.
No.
I think with 5'8" like in Classic, I think this week I would just be not playing anyone or playing the backup and then looking next week to hit a Jaden Campbell or a Cam Munce on the way back. Like, I wouldn't be going to Strange. I don't think you're going to need him for the run home.
Hello, Matt Burton, not 18th man in Classic. Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
That's
huge
what we
for
want
Burton
to see.
owners.
Huge,
for Burton
mate.
owners.
Huge. Get that 49 points in your team. Hello. All right. I put this in here, just a bit of a milestone for us. Up to 30 live listeners this week is not a bad thing. Love to see the progress of the brand. Like and subscribe, please, you loyal listeners. It's good gear. Love your work. Paul has come in and asked, good to see you, mate. G'day, Paul. Targeting Feketi for that role rest of season. This is a great one, mate, which we will absolutely cover very shortly. I'll let the boys get to that one, Paul, when we just cover the Sydney game, because it's, that's a very interesting discussion. Hey, Zerto, apologies, Matt. Didn't realize you'd come back with more. So following on from the TMM versus Boyd, but without the known factor, do you burn it a week early? Doesn't seem to justify. So we covered that. And then HZO says, a lot of rumors, Boyd gets the spot. TMM is a line break threat, etc. Boyd is just a plotter or a jag, as we like to say, just another guy. Team averaged 69 plus in 80 minutes. We love the number, and yeah, he was really good when he had that role. I think that's the final spot, right? We're just going to say TMM, you can potentially burn your waiver and have a crack. Boyd, free agent pickup at best.
Well, yeah, the fact he averaged 69 last year, a lot of people remember that, as obviously he does. So that's the difference between having to spend a waiver on a guy versus not. Like Tanner Boyd's never shown what TMM showed the back end of last year, which is why
That's right.
people will gravitate towards TMM, which is why if you want to own him, you might need a waiver. Boyd definitely not, as he said before.
Absolutely. Thank you for the questions. Really tough ones to answer, but good luck to you, mate. Love to hear how you went too. Dean Anthony, can we just ban these big buy rounds? Skews the league integrity by weakening strong teams, and more importantly, makes SC drafts so damn difficult. I personally love the challenge and love the balance of a buy round, Dean Anthony. But I can understand that maybe this particular buy round with pretty much every good player not playing, it'd be kind of cool if maybe you could customize like a couple of rounds that you sat out. This would be the one for me, where I'd have said to as commissioner of my league of record, hey boys, round 18 is pretty trash. It looks like most people are fielding terrible sides. I think you'll end up like Simo. I think you've done really well, mate. You got a great one this week, which I knew about, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and just tanked it early. It's strategy, it is, but it does make it a bit crap in these rounds. Fair enough, Dino.
Well, to Dean Anthony's
from Anthony
question,
Beaton.
maybe just don't draft a whole team of Sharks then.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah, there is that too. Bring a bit of strategy in. I like it.
Feel like
Anthony, man, our man. G'day, Meso. Dean, bro. What would skew the league is NRL sides playing more matches than others. in this season, Roosters would suffer since 3 of their matches are in this period. Yeah, it's brutal, Meso, because whoever did the scheduling threw darts at a board and just happened to have Roosters represented more on said board, it seems. It's been brutal. I don't understand how that's equitable at all. Meso, you've added the antidote for this problem is bigger benches. We played with 4 this year. It's too few. We've gone with 5 Meso for that reason, so you can at least
I
have
agree with
shots and
that.
manage your roster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great
Four's
one.
too few. Four's too few because it forces people to drop people that really shouldn't be dropped, and we're not a fan of that. Or they just hang on and lose. It doesn't promote a good setup. The problem is though, if your benches are too strong, you end up not having trades. So there's a balance there. I think Todd's a similar. I think 5 seems to be pretty good. Maybe 1 extra, but no deeper than that, right?
No. Yeah, I like the 5.
big thing. What I like about with us, like 5's controversial, but what I like about it is the fact we've got to start. Like I know there's leagues out there where you only start like 2 CT dubs or 2 2RFs, stuff like that. So the fact that we start 3 2RFs and 4 CT dubs, fullback plus a flex, like the starting rosters are still so big that you can justify those slightly bigger benches. I must say I think the balance is pretty good what we have at the moment. So I'd probably recommend that for most people.
Yeah, pull it out to a 5er if you can, boys. It's good stuff. HNO's got more depth to the question. So, is an owner of CHT, MAM, and stashing the great Sammy Walker? Does your opinion change of burning a risky high waiver on TMM in this instance? Ooh. It's less. I think I'd be less keen to burn in your circumstance. The only aspect to that is obviously whoever gets TMM, if he drops as a starter, you've got trade bait just absolutely coming out the wazoo there, mate, to strengthen your team elsewhere. So it still has merit. I just think it's less of a must. Any disagreement, gentlemen?
I'm curious to know what waiver he has. Excuse me, but if in a nutshell, like it does change a lot for me. I wouldn't burn the waiver because you don't really need him. I'm sure he'll get back with what waiver he is there, but especially if you're a high waiver, there's a definite no. If you're a lower end claim, then sure, but if you're in the top 5, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, good shout. Desperation, though, if you're in a position where TMM could easily be the best for the run home, he can be a higher waiver than that as well. HNO adds 4 is cooked in 2025. Here, mate. Here. 5 is a good sweet spot, says HZO. Rerun 6, but it does allow for a bit too much hoarding. I agree with that. But 6 generates lots of good trading as people can hammer 2-for-1 trades because they have depth. Yeah, it's another good way to look at it, mate. So interested to hear you've gone the 6. Meso has added, I found in my league, though, for several years, is that they do undercompete. It does skew the integrity, but I don't think it's in their best interest not to compete. So, yeah, it's a hard one. Like, I play, Toddy and I are in one of that other code, the NRL Fantasy League, right? And I swear we've barely played a match through this buy-round period. Like, I actually just had to check. Last week, apparently, we were back on, Todd's. Then we're off again for a week or something. I've lost, when I say lost interest in that league, mate, I mean, like, I think you and I are both competing as well. Like, you're way up there. And I'm somewhere near the finals. I couldn't care less. I've completely lost interest. I don't know who's in my team, and I'm done. That's the end of me for that league. See you later. It's just the balance has got to be, you got to play through some of the buys. I'd like to see the customization, gentlemen, where you literally just agree as a league that maybe like this week is pretty rank. Let's be honest. It is rank. It's going to skew. Some teams are going to benefit from those dropping and having a compete that they don't really want to. It's just, it's not good for integrity. I agree. So that's a decent bit of work from Dino. Dean has added 1 to 2 IR injured reserve slot wouldn't hurt. Now you're talking, mate. I love that feature in the NFL fantasy. You know, the short-term IR stuff. I like that a lot. I think that's great. Pardon me. IR for concussions also. That one's interesting. That's only a 1-week special usually. Meso adds, I agree, Dean. IR is a feature that should be added. Yep. Hey Zodo says, Yep, I hear. I have first waiver. I'm not going to burn it on TMM given the doubts. I'll go for freeze and see if people fall asleep at the wheel tomorrow. Yeah, imagine if you get him as a free agent, mate, you'll be laughing. He adds that the thing with buy rounds is epic, is that who wants weekends without SC draft? We've set it up so it's only best 6 of our 11 starters to encourage some trading and mix it up. That's a good little tweak. I don't hate it. I'm not saying I'm all in on that model, but it's good to see. I'm the same, mate. I hate when we haven't got players. Got games, I should say. Meso, I agree with HZO. People trade more with bigger benches, not smaller benches. Yeah, okay. Good bit of feedback. Good combo. Brilliant stuff, lads. So leave it there for a second. We'll jump back into the analysis of this Cowboys Storm game. So I want you to go a bit of an old school one here, Simo. I'm going to give you a bit of the green light, red light, and then I want to bring Todd in for a bit of that action. All right, sir. Derby.
Red light.
Controversial one, and I tell you what, it's been an absolute punish. Jackson Purdue.
Oh, still a green light. It's a buy round for Christ's sake. Like Derby's due as well, but like he hasn't looked good at all. But Purdue's he's got to be the similar boat. Like he's just too good a player to stay this quiet.
Confidence shaken, obviously brutal. But at least he's back in the centres for owners. One of the crazy obvious buy lows you've ever seen in your life, because he's going to do better than he is now. If you can pick him up cheap as chips, I say go for it. Take a punt. Zach Labert. Simo?
More of a red light for me. I wouldn't want to start him if I could help it.
Clifford and Duffy. Or Duffy.
Duffy definitely red. Clifford I would start because I think there's going to be, like I said before, there's only 5 matches. Teams need halves. I think there was a question on Clifford. I might just try and sneak in here before you give us the next couple.
Yeah, mate.
I'll ask you this one, Redford. This is from Luke on X. Is Clifford a waiver? Potential goal kicking?
Yeah, because he's a better goal kicker than Drinky, isn't he? But would they really change Drinky? Why would they take Drinky off, though, if that's going to be a continuation? Or did Clifford kick? Did he kick?
It was
he took over, didn't he?
Well, Drinky was so bad on the left-hand side, they gave the right foot of the left. So they could stick with that, honestly. Like it's because Drinky's been really bad from the left because he just so much hook. Like he's just hooking it way across the face. But from the right-hand side, he's great. Like he hooks them in JT-esque. But
if you're in need of a halfback, if you're a Moses person, for example, and you need those couple of weeks, like I'm gonna say a very gentle low-end waiver at most, but try and probably pick him up as a free. I think you're a chance. Yeah. Any of the forwards, Simo, I think Bateman has been in and out of sides and robbing people of buy coverage, including yourself, mate, in the previous. Gets another shot to redeem himself here. I personally will just make it my mission to never own Johnny Bateman because I just do not enjoy him. And I won't throw to you just yet, Todd, while you fix yourself up, mate. Johnny Bateman, can you get a waiver claim out here, mate?
What do you mean?
I'll go to... Yeah, it's still Simo.
Go on, Toddy. Oh, it's going with me. Really low end. There's actually not two. 2RF's not the hardest position to fill this week. It's probably the easiest, as it usually is. But there's a lot of decent forward options you can just plug and play. Bateman's just another one of those. He'd probably be a number 2 2RF this particular week, just given the other guys out there. But yeah, back end 7 through 10 in the 10-man league, low end claim.
You're not going McLean. You're not going Griffin Neem. Kai O'Donnell or Sam McIntyre, any interest whatsoever as a free agent 1 week start.
But with McIntyre filled us last buy round, we said he'd be a solid 50, and he wasn't.
He did.
He's still eligible at front row, and he's playing 13 in real life. It's a buy round. You can't hold last one against him. He's not a waiver, but he's someone you can plug in and look to get. I'll just have the lower expectations. Hopefully, he can get you somewhere between 42 and 52.
You can and you will ignore him, mate. Move on. Go better. No, it's fair. The FRF
Yeah, look,
eligibility makes it
you're
so.
right. I won't pick him up.
Todzer, your turn off the bench, mate. Have you recovered from your coughing fit, old son?
I'm good. I'm good to go.
He's on. Love that background. All right, mate. Let's just go. We sort of touched on these a bit, but just give me the red or green. Okay, so obviously Pappen and Anderson will be fired up. Meany's good enough to be fired up in a normal week, so they're pretty straightforward. Kane Bradley, mate, just the final choice. You got 2RF CTW eligibility. Any love?
Yeah, I like what you said before. Green light. I'm just on the fact that Jerome might pull one on his head and he gets over for a big one for a try. There.
Joe Chan.
Oh, nah, green. Red light, sorry.
Wishart can be wavered. Kamikamitha, Josh King.
Yeah. I mean, in a bye week, I'd prefer to fire up Josh King. You can see him for the bigger minutes. Kamikamitha, pretty forward-heavy bench there. I don't think he's going to play huge minutes, so I probably wouldn't fire him up.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think he's good. The PPM's good. He just doesn't play the minutes. Then it leads us to the big boy, the big bopper himself, Nas, against what looks to be a very weak forward pack for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Is he one that could have? He's been outstanding. The average, he's hitting the upside, and that's really helping. He's hitting some offloads, crushing over the line. Massive in-game injury risk for mine. That means that rest of season, I'm really not thinking he's a proper option. But if you are that, you like that riskier option, how high up a waiver claim would you go here, Tots?
I wouldn't be spending a top 5, but like anything 5 down, probably the top 4. Sorry, anything 5 down. Give me a bit of NAS, especially this week in the 13 role. Can give you some value rest of season too, which is kind of important as well if you have them on your bench or stash them up. Yeah, I wouldn't be spending the top 4.
Easy start, and I think as well, look, rest of season, what I'd say, he's not for the risk averse, but he at least gives you a sneaky bit upside in that front row. Just be prepared on the worst day. It could be as low as 20. It's a bit of a rough one.
When we get 21.
I've had this same experience, Todd's. But yeah. But when he's been versing me, funnily enough, such as the front row curse, I've copped the doubly from the big fella and just loved it, Yeah, we love it. Thank you. Good red light, green light stuff. For those, we're not sponsored by the wonderful South Korean show that's in its 3rd season, but I tell you, absolutely right there, right now, I love that show. Holy crap, it's so good. Listeners, if anyone else is watching Squid Game at the moment, let me know, because it is just a good time. No spoilers, please, for those who haven't yet watched. Roosters versus the Tigers. Who is? Nas?
Tedesco.
Oh, I get a bigger fan of Teddy that's not a Rooster here. Love a bit of Teddy's work, so obviously enjoy starting him this week. Nawaqanitawase back to the centres is a bit of a knock, but it's only against what is an incredibly weak Tigers unit. I mean, what a week to let go of Talon De Silva with no Coro. How did they do this? How does this roster look like this when most league fans would agree with Galvin there and Buller at the back, and you've got Coro with Talon De Silva as coverage, and you've just signed Taruva. All hope. They've even unearthed Stafford Toa couldn't be playing better this season in a crap side. Like should be a good team. Instead, we've got the Forbes Ferrari back on the wing. Been a SuperCoach darling this year. It's a nightmare. This is an absolute bona fide nightmare. If the Roosters are serious and they don't do their whole rest on their laurels thing, Simo, because boy, you and I have seen this every year I've known you. You have called this perfectly. Would it surprise me if the Tigers are ahead 10-0 after 20 minutes? No. Your Tigers they'll do just enough the Roosters to come over the top at the end. They're going to do it again, aren't they?
Geez, I hope not. Looking at that Tigers team, you look at it and go, surely they can't. Not this time. It just seems I honestly, I should be fooled, or shouldn't be fooled by the Roosters because they've done it many times before. But when you look at it on paper, the way they've been playing, it should happen. But
it should. But we've just seen this narrative. So you want to say, you're green lighting Tom Rodwell comes in. Green light. There you go. Dino's added another reason that could easily happen. Very wet down in New South Wales. Just call the round off, Dean Anthony. I tell you, mate, honestly. Let us watch the Origin. So, Ben, I'm going to green light Rodwell. Good to see Sandon in there for Sandon owners because he's a huge one in this bye week, either the hooker or the halfback position. You've also got Savala can be started. Naf White obviously is being started. Iowelu, if I've got that, probably butchered that one, but he's probably a goer this week, or is the Docker Clay factor too much, Todder?
No, I think Docker Clay, they got split minutes there. He's looked good Benai when he's that kick across for Daniel Tupou. Like, he looked really crafty, but I think Zach Docker Clay picks up a few minutes there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Docker Clay doesn't have the actual position, to be honest. I think he's quite a decent player. Okay, that brings us to Makatoa, who in the limited time he's played looks like an absolute powerhouse. Not for the risk averse, but I tell you what, would you be against him crossing for a meaty here, Simo, the way he's looked so far?
Oh, look, it wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, he's definitely not the biggest name at the Roosters we need to be talking about. Like, I think he's someone that I'd just be not that keen on because he's simply just a 1 week play. And I think looking at that bench, the minutes are going to go elsewhere. Like, I would not be going Makatoa personally.
Well, sticking with you then, mate. Back to the gentleman, Paul Abraham, who's asked us a great question. Targeting Feketi for that role rest of season with the unfortunate injury to Siwa Wong. You hate to see it. Siwa, one for the future. I thought he looked pretty good once he got his rhythm going. Is it Feketi's role? Simo, you're the Roosters man. Can we safely make a very high waiver claim here with a man who looks very promising to hold down an edge spot rest of season, or is he simply just warming it for Crichton to come back with Egan Butcher? Yawn. Big yawn.
I love that you've tried to even get that out without laughing. Look, Egan Butcher's a good player, but like when Wong went down, Feketi went straight into that role and looked good. So it'll be his spot. Like, it'll be his until Wong returns, whether that's 4 weeks or 5 weeks from now. The fact that the Roosters have good buy coverage now means you've got him for the next month or so. That's enough for me to be spending a big waiver on him.
Yeah.
Add in the fact that now he's got the dual front row, second row. Like, you chuck him in your front row, plays 80 on an edge with the Chooks. Like,
amazing.
it's pretty
Great
good
play.
gear. So you got to go pretty hard. And same with Blake Steep too. Like, this week he'll be like, seeing him in 13. Like, he'll probably base a solid 55 playing in the middle.
Victor not being there is the big one there because it gives both of them a chance having rest of season value. So if they're out there and you are hunting, for the rest of season opportunity, I like where your head's at there, Paul. I think you can burn a pretty high claim. Neither of them are a guarantee. So if Victor does happen to sneak back, it affects obviously where Steep fits in. And for Ketty, there's a chance they go. We have seen it before, boys, with even Nat Butcher playing on an edge, which I don't think he's dynamic enough for that role either. So I don't think it's without some risk, but I think it's worth a risk at this stage to get someone who can push you over the edge. Paul, he's back. Thank you, sir. For Ketty, my pick. Cheers, lads. But if I miss him, I need to cover injuries to Metcalf, JC, and CNK. You poor bugger.
Oh,
so I need to cover for JC at 5'8". Obviously for this week, but we really hope that he is going to return next. I haven't heard anything to say that he isn't, but I'll certainly want to. The words of Toddy echoed when I asked him. That was a nasty concussion. That was the arms back, like, really looked rough. So I wouldn't say it's a guarantee. The question here you've added, Paul, is has Dewey turned a corner this season? Is he worth a waiver too? That's a bloody good raise, and I got to say, he looked fantastic at the 6 last week as he has in the past. I think for a stab, and I do stress the word stab, to at least get you through maybe one more week of no JC, I'm okay with it, but I would not be burning a high waiver, lads. Todzer?
Yeah, I think you've nailed that, mate. Especially with 5'8" at the moment, like, all these guys are out. You got Metcalf, Nicarima is another one going down. Like, Adam Dewey is not a flashy play, but if you're going to be, getting JC back next week, this week's tough matchup against the Roosters, and there's every chance he stinks it up. But like 5'8", there's no one else out there. There really isn't. Like, Strange is probably already getting picked up. King Tongi is one that I'd prefer King Tongi over Dewey.
I would too.
But like Dewey, he's a guy who can play in the CT dub. He's averaging pretty well in the CT dub as well. He's been pretty active, so I don't mind the stab at that. But obviously, I wouldn't be spending a high waiver at all on him.
Yeah, mate. But I can see the logic there, Paul. It's not the worst stab, but if he's the one shining light at 5'8" that you can at least slot in to fill the hole for you, I'm all about it, mate. Do what you need to do to win, especially if you need to chase those wins at this stage. So good spot, mate. Not one that we originally talked about. Thank you, sir. HZO, our man, is back. He asks, great question, boys. What are we paying for David Fifita? He adds that the owner in his league is battling hard and is pretty stubborn, but would love to get the price. I'm thinking a lower end 2RF like you and Aiken or CHT or MAM, given I've got both. If you can trade CHT for Fifita, I think that is an easy one. It might make your TMM decision a bit more straightforward as well, potentially. Ewan Aiken, I'm not a huge fan of Ewan Aiken in the CTW like others are. I don't think he offers enough upside for mine, and he's a bit ho-hum in the 2RF. So for me, boys, if you're up and about or high in the league and you want to have a punt here, I'm happy with either of them. I would not trade Ezra Mam, though. But I'm also a massive Ezra Mam fan.
He's a round one guy to you, so that makes sense.
With the way 5'8" have fallen, it's closer than it ever has been, Todd. But yeah.
It's still humor. So far away.
Good humor attached. We'll see. I think that is, I love your timing. I am going to quote that. And the run home, what average the rest of the season does he need in a surging Broncos side to make that a little more humorous? I'm going to quote you on that. Sibbo?
Are we talking about Ezra Mam still or Fifita? Like,
no, just would you trade any of them down for David Fifita?
I wouldn't have heartbeat if the Fifita owner was going to do it. Like Aiken, if you can get Aiken for Fifita, like that's amazing to me.
CHT gone as well.
Oh, you do. I'd do that. It'd do both of them. Like Mam for Fifita, if you need a half, if they need a 5'8", that's fair. But because of what's Ezra averaging like 70. Like it's. I think those other two are steals to get Fifita's upside. To be fair.
Yep, I do too. I was interested on your thoughts on Mam. So I think that'd be a risky business. I mean, if you could lock in that TMM, maybe confirm if TMM is starting and you really feel as though Mam gets you for feeder and you can start TMM rest of season, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah, the thing is, like, to pry for feeder away from the owner, like, you need to be offering them something that's going to help them as well. Like, the upside for feeder and what he can be when he plays is still there, and like that's why I'm thinking like Mam's a fair value because Ezra's doing it right now and is playing and is looking good in a shallow position. Like to me, you and Aiken and CHT, for CHT's having a good year, but you know it's just not the same as what Dave Fifita could give you. And yeah, I'd be doing either of those two if I had the chance, as I said before.
Yeah, HZO's on we're in agreement with a couple of things, mate. So good shout, fellas. Not shifting Mam. I like what the left edge is doing at Bronx. They're humming. I agree, mate. I think obviously with Walsh back and somewhat looking fit again, it's touch wood. It's a pretty exciting thing to own a left edge player. And obviously those who picked up Karapani a couple of weeks ago, enjoy the run home because it's looking very promising. They love these speedy. They're finding these speedy outside backs of the Bronx. I'll give them that. He's very quick. All right, just quickly, guys. I know I did gloss over the Tigers really fast as well. So you can look. Stafford Toa is fourth CTW earned. Todd's, I know you and I are massive fans. The kid, he'll turn a crap situation into some upside. The argument for Jarrell Skelton's getting pretty tough, Todd's. He doesn't look great. I can be honest with you. Yeah, I think that the injury run he had and the lack of confidence, that's a sketchy start, right?
The best thing he did last week was just come in on one tackle on Tommy Turbo, and that was it. Like,
that was it.
He's shocking, man.
He looks pretty rough.
Looks slow. Doesn't look like he's going to break any tackles. Like I remember him being quite a player, but yeah, no, he hasn't tickled me at all this year.
Could be a sneaky one for the start of next season when he gets a preseason under him. Again, it just looks like it's not quite there. Paul did enough to, if you need to start him, he's got dual eligibility. You can slot him into. I've got him in FRF at the moment. Scored me 50 odd. He's fine. Decent real life player. That told you that was on your recommendation, mate. I started him last week just to get a sneaky 45 plus and did the job. Jack Bird playing NRL in 2025. Feel for him and his chronic knee injury, but it isn't something I'd be looking to do. 12 for a boring sort of 45 plus as well is okay.
Taruva.
Sonny Taruva at fullback. Simo, make the argument, mate. I love a bit of Sonny Taruva. Not his fault the team around him have fallen apart. It's going to be tough rest of the season to trust him, right?
Yeah, like he's good for the next 3 weeks. Buller not there. Like we don't know whether Heath Mason will walk back into that role come next week though. But if Truva looks good, I don't see Benji changing it. Like he could play. What is it? Another 3 or 4 weeks when Buller's back. So he'll be a waiver level player this week. Needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, that's a good shout, mate. I personally, I don't agree with that take. I think Mason jumps straight back into the fullback just because of they'll want to get rid of Charlie Staines quicker than you could say team list.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Tristan Hope, I'm not going to get around it, boys. It's too risky.
No.
You can start someone else. Good luck. If you get on and you're in a 20-man league and he brains it, come back and tell us the idiots that we are. I'm all about it. All right. Over to the last game of the round. It is a team largely unaffected by State of Origin. Is the Seagulls versus the Bunnies. I think it is just Latrell Mitchell is missing for Origin out of these two teams. Oh, the demise of these great franchises. Lehigh, bit of a letdown in week 1. Red hot chance to get back up on the upside train this week. So enjoy that, owners. It's got to be coming. Jason Saab, he of 9 lives, hangs on. Hangs on with Tommy Talau lurking on the, not even the extended, the actual bench. So, boy, that makes me nervous for there. I'd be struggling to start Jason Saab based on that, boys, surely. That's I know you did, Simo. You got on, you scored. Well done, sir.
That's what he does.
Mate, are you going to start him with confidence here with Tommy Talau lurking? Is that okay?
Bloody oath. Yeah, no, keep starting him. Like, they're versus Souths without Latrell. Like,
yeah.
Was he going to be against Isaiah Tass on that side? Because AJ's at fullback. So, I mean, is it Aitken? It's going to be Aitken and Tass on the left because Campbell Graham will be on the right. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't look good for Jason Saab. So, I'll be rolling him out.
Yeah, he's only got to actually hold on to one of them, isn't that right, Simo? So good call, mate. Like your work. It's just nervous starts. Turbo was okay at centre wing. You know, looks at least like he doesn't have to run as much. Luke Brooks can be started this week. I had the unfortunate displeasure of starting him last with JC's injury. Scored me that beautiful. Simo, what did he get me, mate? Between 50 and 60. Yes, boy. As reliable as death and taxes is that, man. Honestly.
The shoveler. Watch out for him.
He shovels it on. You'll love to start him in a buy round. That's where he belongs. Jastavung a bit disappointing, hangs on to that hooker role, but unfortunately with Simkin loitering, it's hard to trust him.
Yeah. Jaz's best position for Supercoach and in real life is 13. Like they should be playing Jakey as a prop and Jazz at 13.
Yep.
Like I think a lot of people can see that. So he's wasted a dummy half.
Agreed. Boys, hopefully you got on, listeners. I had a little sneaky start and did pick him up myself at Bedford. The Corey Waddell is one of those players that I had, I think, Stephen McCormick, the Mac Daddy. We were literally discussing that we didn't really rate him much as a real-life player, and literally in the very next breath, he scored a line break try, only to have a bit of a laughter about it. I mean, literally, the whatever moment in time just before he crossed is exactly when we had that convo. I said, thank you so much, mate, for the anti-Moz. Love that 70+. He's actually fine for Supercoach. He got 80 minutes last week too. Boys, if he's got the 80-minute role and he plays this week in a bye till Lokwatu comes back, I hate to say it, but he's actually probably a waiver claim. I know it's gross. It's absolutely disgusting. But am I, like, honestly, tell me I'm wrong. It's probably right.
I mean, I would never waiver him, so I'll tell you you're wrong.
I know. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, but if he goes and averages 60 over the next, like, Olaquad was out for at least 4 weeks. 80-minute edge back row playing for Manly outside DCE.
Played the Tigers.
They're playing the Bunnies this week. This is the point. Like, they should absolutely whop the Bunnies this week if they're even remotely turning up.
I just can't believe that you've had a crack at not starting Jason Saab, but yet Corey Waddell's a waiver claim.
I didn't say. I actually asked you. I didn't actually say he was. I said I think he should be, but I'm not going to recommend it. Mate, I'll see it if you boys were keen.
There.
I'm telling you,
No,
if he
not
comes out
keen.
and brains it for another 60 plus, come back and say thank you. Boyd Chavot come up and says, "Up the fucking Raiders!" Love your
I
work,
can get
Boyd.
behind that on you, boy.
Yeah, Boyd. We don't mind. We're actually neutral fans of the Raiders. I think anytime they can compete from down there in the cold/dry heat is impressive. So good on you.
Mate,
We love a bit
I've
of
been all over
stick
them.
too.
I've been slamming them the last couple of years, but Ricky's turned them around. You gotta like what they're doing down there.
Fantastic. Oh, Sticky just speaking his mind, and it's brilliant. I love it. That's really it, I think, for Manly there. My boy Ethan Bullymore, as we like to call him.
Ethan.
Yeah, well, I like to call him. There he is. Over to the Bunnies. It's hard to make a strong argument. Jack Whiten just doing what he's done his whole career, even when he was a stud. He'll have those 90-odd games. You're like, shit, yeah, get him in there. And then he will find his way to a 17-point score when you least suspect it. He has it in him. He's going to be a hot one off waivers, given though he had scored the big one. I mean, CTW eligibility, Todd's, I feel like you aren't going to get behind this, mate.
Nah, I'm not, mate. No.
No shot?
We've seen this happen before. No, thank you.
You had a bit of love for Jamie Humphries about a month ago, mate. I presume that's completely dead now. He looks absolutely terrible all of a sudden.
Yeah, why does all? Well, the love was all about the biceps and the quads, mate. Seriously, the bloke.
I'm with you on that.
Guns. It's all on a
Juicy.
Matty Johns show. He didn't make Matty Johns look small. That bloke sits here with his bloody arms out.
He's juicy, mate. Yeah.
Fair play. Why has he turned to rubbish? Like,
he looks terrible. Like his in-game play, something's gone funky. I don't know what it is, but it's clunky. There's a lot of mistakes, missed tackles as well. A guy that size, mate, too much working out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, boys. What I would like to see is Brandon Smith named in the 22 jump up. Is there a possible stash here for the Chiefs?
I think with Marmazelis there, I just can't see how he finds value. And Hubner as well, blocking him at 13.
Jeez, I feel like he comes in for Hubner.
I'm not a fan of Hubner. I think Hubner's incredibly average.
I think he's really good off the bench.
Yeah, he's got no mortgage on that spot. He's playing off the bench this week, isn't he? Or did last week? So
no, he's back in. He did last week. I mean, boys, I was never a fan. I don't really rate Hubner much at all. It's just Bennett does, and he brought him in there. He got some sort of flukish upside through the season to remain relevant in SuperCoach as well. I found out one dude actually had him in Classic still, like up to a couple of weeks ago. It blew my mind. But I just think, can you make an argument there's enough time left for the Cheese to get up match fitness to be relevant by the time, and would you trust him in a SuperCoach final? That is my question.
They won't be there, so it doesn't matter.
SuperCoach, I meant final. I actually genuinely didn't mean the final. I meant like finals. Like if you're in the first week of your finals and he's just got himself back into fitness, Jesus, if you could guarantee 60 minutes, there you go. I'll try and, that's a hard thing to guarantee. Yeah. Could you really trust the Cheese given his recent run as well? I couldn't. No shot.
You've just put out way too many obstacles for me. Like it's just
can't do it.
Too much to do in too little time.
Not worth the stash for me. It's a no. I've just got it as a flat no. I don't think he's worth the upside.
I'd love to see him come back and be really good, don't I?
Do I love the Cheese? Oh yeah, shit yeah. Sign me up. I love watching him play. He's exciting when he's on, and I still think when he was playing 13 at Melbourne, running through the middle is just outstanding. So can we greenlight Campbell Graham? I'm sick of asking. He hasn't hit upside in forever. I've said no for ages. I'm sticking with it. I don't even care if he does it this week. He's just not a rest of season top 4 CTW person. Flat no. Easy no for me. Isaiah Tass will goal kick. If I've read that correctly. Probably okay.
Humphries nudges him, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
probably. So, no, you're right, because he kicked earlier when Latrell was out, and then he got injured, so Tass took over. Yeah, no, you're right. So, no. Alex Johnson obviously just let all owners down last week after hitting the highs. It almost seemed impossible he wouldn't hit tries every week. At fullback, fine. Fire him up if you got him. He wouldn't be unowned either, so no good. I Miss Boyd said... White stopped being a stud when he left the milk behind. Yeah, take that, White. leaving the green milk men behind. Love your work, boys. Love the passion, mate. Good stuff. All right, Lewis Dodd, the poor bastard, just on a bench, probably gets dumped when the team gets culled. Why are we even laughing? This poor
This
bastard.
bloke,
He-
He
I
was
feel
given
so
no
sorry.
shot, and then he just made it a 17.
Did he
Mm.
Did he just drop a gigantic fart in the office the first day he arrived in Australia? And poor Bennett smelt it and was like, yeah, get that bastard out of here. You know, like,
Bennett had to
honestly.
ask who he was. That's how much Bennett doesn't like him.
Oh, it's disgusting. Just, wow. We'll never know, boys. It's not going to happen in Australia. No other NRL team will give him a run now. That's the problem. They're like, well, yeah, that's just gone.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, boys,
How are you if you're him, though? Like, tell his parents, I'm going to go and try it in the NRL, see how my wares, see how I go. Heads on over here and just wastes literally 18 weeks of his life up until this point, plus a preseason.
Yeah, it's rough chat, mate. It's very rough chat. Now, lads, before we go on to the couple of questions remaining, I just wanted to quickly ask, for those players that don't play the bye round who aren't trying to go for a win, so there's a couple of options there, just a couple of players who might be sitting out there that you could pick up and stash at this point. So for me, I'll start this off. The most obvious one that there is going around right now, I have him stashed for this reason, is Keanu Kinney. If he's out there right now, go and get him. Because he may not come back. It may be done. Maybe Cactus. But there is a shot, and there's some rumors going around round 20 earliest, round 21, 22. At least I know in our Liga record, boys, we've got to fill a flex spot. Would I take a punt on him in a final? Yeah, probably would. So he's really, really, I know that's probably low-hanging fruit. He's the most obvious one to me. Sumo, did you have any lined up, mate, that you think should be stashed through?
Oh, not off the top of my head. I think Kinney's a good one. Yeah, I'm just trying to go to Toddy. I'll try and think of one.
Oh, yeah, because I've got plenty lined up here, mate. You wouldn't believe.
That's all right, boys. As you can see, for our loyal listeners and those tuned in, I certainly always give the boys lots of prep time. I had a couple of thoughts. I was going to say, Paul's jumped in with, he's gone Hiroti, thinking Hiroti will come back in before the end. Yeah, I mean, Sharks run home is not too bad. I can see that. If he's out there and you're not trying to win this week, that's fine.
I'll tie one in with one of the questions, actually, because I'm looking at the questions going, this mate might be relevant to this.
Yeah, go.
This is from Willa on X. What do you make of the Eels hooker situation? Does De Silva get decent minutes and become relevant, or does he have to share with Riley Smith and Hands, etc.? And then, he also wants us to clip. We've talked about this other part a lot. TMM with Metcalf gone, does he reach the heights that he did last year? So we probably don't need to talk about the TMM one, but De Silva versus Riley Smith, what do you reckon there?
Way too many cooks, mate. Like, I just cannot see a universe where he comes in and brains it for 80 minutes. If you remember when he did get he came in for plenty of minutes a couple of weeks ago, did some horrible things live that the other coaches would have seen. He needs development time. I don't think he moves into significant enough minutes for mine. Told you?
Yeah, interesting one. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be that 60 to 65 minute hooker that you're looking for, to be honest. I think he's going to share time. Riley Smith, I think, is going to be, a big part of what the Eels are going to do this year anyways.
Strange signing, to be honest, because I think Riley Smith showed that he's got a bit about him too. I'm a little confused by that one, but each to their own. I will put a hooker up there that did actually finally brain it last week and did look good, has pedigree. Simo and Todd. I'll actually go to Todd first on this because I know, Simo, you have dropped him in ours, and I understand why you did. We finally saw Jeremy Marshall-King, JMK, finally put together the sort of performance we really are excited about. Can we trust it finally? It was 80 minutes. He actually got the full. There is nobody left there now. They need, obviously, all their other players. Donahue is braining it now, not playing in the hooker. Is it time to get on, mate, if he's out there?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he's out there, I think he's definitely at a very minimum a stash to see what happens. But look, as you were saying, hooker's been pretty rough this year. And if you can get some value back with Jeremy Marshall-King playing 80, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty big one. It doesn't come without risk. It could be an absolute waste of a roster spot. But, decent enough. I think they were the main couple that I had, guys. I think the rest of them are all just as likely as any other. Anything else, Todd? Or just did you ever think, mate? Nothing sitting there for you, mate?
I couldn't really think of anything. couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head. Unfortunately.
Marshall King.
And
That's
then
all I can say.
Marshall King and a Kinney, couple good, and TMM. I think that was the other really good one, lads. So thank you for that. Our man HZO, brilliant contributor tonight, sir. Appreciate you. He says, fellas, any buy lows jump out to you? This is a great question. A lot of the teams with the strongest finals, strength of schedule, so round 23 to 26, Manly, Eels, Finns, Dragons, Warriors. You could easily make an argument as a buy low. I think that Gutho's a pretty easy buy low for now if people think he's just completely run out of steam. I do think the Dragons run home. I've seen it as well, HZO, and I think it is juicy as. I think it's going to be pretty fun being a Val owner on the run home too, but you won't get Val on a buy low because he's having a good season. That's an easy one for me, lads, that would be gettable right now. The only other one, if you really want a halfback and you're not happy, go get Moses if you're already in contention. Could easily have a really good run home if you don't mind the risk. Eddie, off the top of your head, lads?
Or Kawatu. From that lot.
Yeah. Yep.
What's he up for 4 weeks? He's already been out for 1.5. So
yeah, good one.
Yeah, if the old Kawatu one is struggling, go hit him up. For the Eels, like Dylan Brown's gettable. He hasn't, same as Oongi, I think. With
Great.
Like when the Eels finally have their team back, even though they keep all getting injured, but if Moses does come back with Brown, with Iongi, and it's all there, like they've got a good run, so they'll probably lose games, but they should still score plenty of points in losing. So I don't hate any of those sort of guys as buy lows.
Yeah, that's a really good shout, mate. I like that. I do as well. I like the look of that Eels side in SuperCoach wise on the run home. That's a real good shout. I think it's going to be real good fun to have Zachy Lomax at the back end. Holy crap. He's for those classic lists, I know we've got a few classic followers. I find a way to have Zachy Lomax in your CT dubs, I think. Todd, before we wrap up, mate, any other questions from the Book of Face,
yes,
good sir?
Mate, I've got a few actually. Just actually got two. Don't worry about two. Callum, our boy Callum, he says...
Callum, g'day, sir.
G'day, crew. CISA won a line on Fletcher Sharp. Not looking good from what he's heard, but no confirmation yet. Yeah, it seems like he's gone.
Just gone. Unless you are absolutely sewed up as a win, like as a final spot and a top couple, so you can get whatever favourable schedule, he's a pretty straightforward drop for me, Simo.
Simo. Yeah, the question was about Tamari Martin and Tanner Boys. We've already really answered that one. Favourite 1 week play this week? We could have sort of touched on it, but he's got Wishart for Kitty, Simi Sasangi, Billy Smith, and Bronson Sherry. So some good options there.
You go, Simo.
Read the first three. It was out of the first three for me.
Wishart, Kitty, and Sasangi.
Sasangi.
He's awesome. Matchup's brilliant. Great player.
Yeah, I like it. Sasangi for Kitty. Wishart, how good. Anyway, so thanks for the tips. Second one's from Anthony Mason, who was in the chat earlier. Says, hey, boys. An interesting fundamental decision hangs on prognosis of Kalen Ponga. After Ponga got injured on Friday, he picked up Keanu Kenny before the Titans game.
Yeah,
he has Lehigh, who can play fullback. With only 4 bench spots in a 14-team league, he's currently coming 4th. He's considering holding Ponga as a hopeful late AE, giving me some firepower and probably lacking my team. That said, to compete best this week and next week on the major and mini buys, I think I should drop Ponga. What is likely to give a view on? Is Ponga a hold?
How long is Ponga with this injury?
4. Liz Frank's like 4.
Oof. And they are notoriously bad for
4 to 6. They can be like
they can linger. They linger. It's like turf toe in NFL. They just hang around like a bad smell. Simo,
his time couldn't drop him.
Mate, he's coming 4th, and he's coming 4th. Like,
and he's got Lehigh. He's got Lehigh.
I still wouldn't drop him. Like, Ponga comes back in 4 weeks. You still got Lehigh can play CT dub, and your team could be really good. Like if you playing Lehigh as a CT dub, assuming he stays fullback rest of the year, if he does, he could be just incredible down the stretch with Manly's run. So Yeah, I'd keep Ponga from like he's in a position to still hit the finals pretty hard.
You can see now why Meso commented on the 4-man bench. You shouldn't be squeezed into dropping Ponga. That's a terrible yuck. I hate that. Anything else there, Mr. Toddmeown?
No, that is all from the Book of Face. Appreciate the love over there.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, listeners. HZO said, "Oh yeah, eyeing Moses off, but the soft tissue injury freaks me out." Oh, it's not for the faint of heart, mate. It's more about scarcity of their position, and when that full team is humming, plus their schedule, he could be a difference maker in a grand final. So I do like it. And also HZO, I think this is a good little flex, mate. Great suggestions though. Ironically, traded Yongi and Ola to a needy owner for Aaron Clark. This is the BDE that we like to see. That is brilliant. I love that. Well done, sir. Simo, is that all the X questions, mate?
No, there was two more.
Oh, yes.
Or two or three more. Pick one player for this week out of Cobbo, Fiketti, Sasangi, Steep, or Bateman.
I'm sticking with Sasangi. I just think the floor upside combo is really, really juicy there. But I also like Fiketti. That they're both really close for me.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I love a bit of Cobbo this week too, though. So
Cobbo is the third. They're good options.
Call me biased though. So
yeah, if the Broncos weren't playing the Bulldogs, I'd go Cobbo. But
yeah, very true. Good shout.
I don't know if Cobbo will hit. Like he'll probably hit one good attacking stat, but I just don't know if he'll hit two. So I think Sasangi will still probably get Cobbo. So I'd still go Sasangi, then I'd go Cobbo second. Fiketti third.
He'll be underdone too, is my worry. He doesn't look good when he's not had match fitness.
Yeah, like you could see.
Always underdone.
That's what I mean. He is Todd's, and then if he's even imagine without match fitness as well, it's like oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times.
This is from Nathan Cox, 12-man league, 17-man bench. Sorry, 17-player teams. Thoughts on keeping or trading Tolu Kola? He's got Brian Toto with an LCL injury, Sione Katoa with a good finals draw, Dewey playing 5'8", and Brimson's before Kinney's return. So I think he's looking to trade Kola for one of those guys. Because if he can trade Kola for To'o, that's the play, right?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Not that Kola, like Tua Kola with Manly's run home, don't sleep on it. It's pretty good. It's just the dynamic has changed now with Lehigh at the back, and I wonder if he is going to keep hitting those attacking stats. Not sure.
Yeah. Like, just like those names again, it's To'o, Katoa, Dewey, and Brimson. Like,
only Toa.
You're trading Kola.
Kola.
I mean, you still do Brimson, right?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No. I like the dual eligibility. The fullback CTW still have in Kola. Good run of Manly's and the extreme in-game injury risk of AJ Brimson. That give me Tola Kula there.
Yeah, I'd still do it for Brimson personally because I just don't see why. I just don't see why the Gold Coast bring Kinney back. Like, they're coming last. Like, I don't know. What, he signed a massive extension and he's 21 years old? Like, I don't know. I'd still do it for Brimson, but that's just me. That's it from X because the other one was a DM that was also in the chat. So that is it, gents.
Beautiful. Good stuff. We can very quickly, I know it's been an awesome buy-in from the listeners tonight. Thank you for those who have contributed. I just will give a quick wrap-up of the Listener League this week. Todd, I'll spare you, mate, for having to do that. Just jumping in to view the ladder. We are looking at the Y-Dot. The Todd Meown himself has maintained a 2-point gap at the top on 24 points. I'm coming in second with 22. Simo in third, but now joined by the surging Braden's Williami. 4-1 over the last 5 rounds, gentlemen. Starting to sniff our butt cracks on the way up. Well done, sir. So on 20 equal with Simo. The Middle East also closing the gap on 19 points. Well done, sir. Love your work. Conrad is sneaking in there with 18. We've got Shred and Puff Daddy, 16 points apiece. Simp for Carrigan, 15. White and Wong, 14. Baxter's Boys, 12. And unfortunately, the Baconators cut adrift on 8 points. We've had had a bit of bad run, the Gold Sun. So that's us. All right, boys. Good stuff. Again, great buy-in from the listeners. 30 strong live tonight with the Mana Wave. I'm with you, Todd. The brand is growing. Tell your friends about us. Hop on in for a good bit of banter, good bit of fun. And as you can see, love the live chat feedback. It's really good fun. So, Simo, thank you for joining us, mate. Glad you're feeling a little bit better, old son.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully this wog stays away and we'll be back again next week with all 3 teams in the bye. So it's still not a
Only
full
3.
allotment of games,
Yeah.
but there might be Origin restings that always throw a few spinners in the works too. So
Yeah,
look out
up
for
to
that.
the yeah, absolutely. And quick prediction, mate. Do we get back on it? Todd's are a lot less chirpy tonight about the prospects. So what do you got for us, mate?
I am much more on board with Queensland not being blown away early as I have been in other origins. I think, like, you look at Josh Papali, his inclusion is going to be massive because, like, just that experience. Tino will get on the back of that. I think, at least for the first 20, it'll be a lot closer than it has been. But, I mean, the Blues have still got a lot of talent there, and they showed second half that once they get their game faces on, they've got levels that Queensland can't get to. But you can't go against Josh Papali at the moment. Just his wave of success, that 319 game record, and it's just all happening for Papa at the moment. So it was a good selection by Billy, but how good is this a decider? Just in general, just get
Love
up and
it.
about it.
More hype around this one. Todza, I said to you, mate, that if Murray Taulagi had been picked on a wing with Val staying in the centres, and I'm happy enough, obviously then Hammer to fullback. I'm a bit of a Reece Walsh fan, but I actually agree with the Hammer selection. He's a man in form. He's done it. I think that's where we lose. I think Val defending on a wing is an absolute mistake. I think that's a shocker. Personally, I think that's going to cost us badly. Shibasaki's fine. He'll do a job.
Shibasaki's fine.
Mate, I am more confident with
Shibasaki.
Shibasaki defending in the centres ahead of Val Holmes defending on a wing. He'll get found out again. That's just an absolute recipe for disaster. Todza, by how many, sir?
20. I mean, it would be 30, but Ashley Klein's still refereeing, so it'd be 20.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you, Simo. I think maybe at least not a blowout. But yeah, if New South Wales, they're going to have an off night again for us to sniff a chance down there. Unfortunately, with our record, not good down there. And
6 clubs, mate. It's unbelievable. Everyone's like, "Oh, what a story!" Yeah, there's a reason he's been to 6 different clubs. He's not that good at football.
Even again, Shibasaki's not the main problem, mate. It's Val defending on a wing. It's not it. He's not there in 2025. It's very obvious. It was if game 1 made that painfully obvious. Like, why are we going back to that well? That's bonkers to me. But anyway, each to their own. Trent Liera all the way, baby. That's how we win games of football. Meso has signed off and said, thanks, boys. Caught your responses. I'll hold Ponga till we learn more. If it's mild, he could return, I read. Surgery, that'll be best for 2025. Yeah. But you're bust, sorry, for 2025. Good stuff, mate. And I don't really want to read this one. Todza, have a read for me, mate. Your man, Meso.
Meso gets life. He says, go the Blues. Blues by 30. So
triple blue love hearts as well. He's just, I was a fan of Meso till just then. Todza, thank you very much, good sir.
Thanks, mate. Always a pleasure.
Always sounds so enthused at the back end of these, mate, when you say that. Thank you. It's been great bringing it to you, listeners. You are excellent. Mana waves all round. Thank you very much, listeners. We love your work. Enjoy the Origin. I'm going to say Queenslander. Get that BDE into you. Oh, yeah. Oh, man.